Hello, everyone, and welcome to Deconstructing the Dark Passenger podcast, a podcast about all things Dexter. I'm Jean.
I'm Victoria.
As we had discussed earlier, I think that at the end of season 4, we had talked about we don't have enough time to do another full season between now and the beginning of Resurrection, the season 2 of Resurrection. So what we're going to do is going to kind of go through the seasons we've covered so far, so seasons 1 through 4, and then Original Sin and the first season of Resurrection. And we're going to talk about some of the main big bads in each season, but also some of our other favorite, or favorite might not be the right word, but some of the highlights of the killers of the week type of thing. So we're going to start off in the most logical place, I think. I guess we could have started off with Original Sin, but I'd rather do it like this. We're going to start off with season 1, and we're going to be talking about this week, we're going to be talking about the ice truck killer.
Yes.
I saw on Reddit a few days ago, they had a discussion, like, who do you think was the creepiest killer of all of them? Was it the ice truck killer, or... Well, somebody said, like, Trinity. I was like, yeah, Trinity is definitely but out of between, like, the ice truck killer and somebody, I don't know, season 5 or 6, I'm like, it's between, between actual creepiness, actual legitimate goosebumps creepiness, Trinity is obviously the creepiest. The ice truck killer is a very close second.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, Trinity's the creepiest. Yes. Just the way he sets up his murders.
Well, and the fact that, like, his portrayal throughout, even when he's not killing people, he's very creepy. Even when he's not actively, we're not watching him kill, we're just watching him order omelets, he's creepy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just how his life made him, I guess. But, I mean, I think the ice truck killer is just creepy in a different way.
He's creepy in a different way, and I think I said this. I think I said this when we were talking about season 4. I think I was like, I really buy the Trinity killer as a serial killer. Like, I get that vibe, and I buy ice truck killer as like serial killer, but he feels more like a sex pest sometimes. Like he's,
yeah.
I mean, a very creepy sex pest, but
yeah,
I don't know. So I think I think obviously it was a great performance, but I think the most obvious thing with the ice truck killer is that it's a study because it's Brian, or it's Dexter's brother.
Yes. So
it's a really good study of nature versus nurture, and I think you notice the pattern's really strong in the first 4 seasons. The pattern, I think, breaks down in the later seasons. I think we're starting to kind of see it again. It's starting up in Resurrection, but like the initial pattern was like, okay, each season was about some aspect of Dexter's personal growth.
Yes.
Towards becoming a normal person. And the big bad of each season kind of like represented some obstacle in his personality that he needed to get around to grow as a person. And even some of the, and some of the other minor killers also kind of like were like little aspects of him, but none so much as, obviously, his biological brother. So, it's this way, we're going to touch on Original Sin, because Original Sin, we got information that we didn't have in season 1. Because like in season 1, all we knew by the end was, so they, their mother had been killed. They'd both been there and watched their mother be killed. Brian was slightly older, so it affected him in a different way. Harry's excuse to like, well, I left Brian behind because, I could tell that it had gotten into him or whatever. But then he also tells Dexter at some point, well, it got into you. Okay, Harry, what's the cutoff here?
Yeah.
I mean, but we see that in Original Sin, we see that Brian was probably headed towards a hard life no matter what happened to his mother.
Yes. I mean, he showed that earlier in season 1.
Yeah. But we don't see, we see him killing the lizards, and we see Dexter kind of being sad about the lizards dying.
Yeah.
We don't get that in season 1, but I think we do get enough in season 1, and maybe we don't put a fine point on it, but we get enough in season 1 to tell, even if they're brothers and they have the same kind of point of origin, that Brian's a very different type of killer than Dexter.
Yes. Very different.
And I think, like, so Dexter's ritual we don't get a lot of background about Dexter's ritual until Original Sin.
Yeah.
And in Original Sin, we kind of find out everything kind of happened just on accident, you know? So, but what we do know about Dexter is basically everything about the way he kills people, the way he stalks them, the way he kills them, the way he disposes of their bodies. It's all about not getting caught.
Yes.
That is all it is.
Yes.
I mean, obviously he wants the thrill, the satisfaction of the kill that calms him. But everything else is dictated by not getting caught, except for the blood slides.
Yeah. The blood slides are his thing. It's just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you look at that. I mean, like, none of this seems to be... I guess you could say, well, but he chops up the bodies. I'm like, because that's the easiest way to get rid of them.
Yes.
It's got nothing to do with his mother.
Nope.
It's just like a coincidence, basically.
Or it's something in the back of his head just telling him to chop them up. It's easier, you know. Yeah. I mean...
Well, we saw when he's tried to dispose of it in other ways. It
doesn't work as well.
It doesn't work. But, Brian, if you look at Brian, or the Esther killer, everything about the way he kills people is dictated by this thing that happened to his mother.
The draining of the blood.
The draining of the blood, the painting of the fingernails.
Yes.
The way he poses the bodies, the way he severs the limbs, even the type of women he picks. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not generally, as a general rule, he's not like breaking into some upper middle class suburban home and snatching up a wife. He's looking for women. I mean, prostitutes. We don't know specifically that his mother was a prostitute, but Dexter doesn't know. When we meet Dexter, Brian is always aware, because he was older when he saw his mother get murdered. He is always aware of what he is doing and why he is doing it.
Yes.
Dexter doesn't know until Brian comes along and tells him.
Yeah.
Dexter has no idea why he does the things he does.
Yeah, I mean, he has about halfway through one, I think he's starting to get it.
Yeah, when he goes into the hotel, and I think it's scene red when he goes to the hotel room.
Yep.
And he starts remembering.
Mm-hmm.
And then it all becomes clear. But it's interesting because even after that, I mean, like, he will talk about his mother going forward, but it doesn't feel like it's driving him any more than it was before he found out.
Yeah, but I think he realizes that something happened.
Yeah.
That has caused what he's doing. Like, I mean, that's a light bulb episode.
Sure, yeah.
It really is, you know. The thing I don't get about season 1 with the ice truck killer and with Dexter is Dexter's getting like Barbie doll heads in his freezer and the whole Barbie doll chopped up in a freezer. And he's like, oh, he wants to play. Why did it never enter his brain? Like, how does this guy know me? How does he know what I do? How does this guy get in? Like, it never enters his brain. Why is this serial killer different than other serial killers? Why is he interacting with me? And how does he know to interact with me? Like, that never enters the picture.
I mean, I don't think it explicitly does. I don't recall that he ever explicitly asked those questions. And yeah, he does seem very, I mean, honestly, me personally, if I was doing the things Dexter does, and all of a sudden all this stuff starts showing up, I'd be freaking out. Because
I'd be like, what the fuck?
All this to not get caught, and here's this rando
that knows what I do.
That knows everything, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I don't get, is why Dexter never asked those questions, like, how does he know me? How does he know what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Like...
because this is before, we'll see in Resurrection that the Bay Harbor Butcher is like a legend among serial killers. But that was after the discovery of this season 1. Nobody knows about the Bay Harbor Butcher. There is no Bay Harbor Butcher.
Yeah. So I mean, how does Brian even like?
Right.
And Dexter never questions this.
Yes. So it's somebody that has to have an eyeball on me for some reason.
And why is that?
Right.
And who is it? And he never questions it. And for me, that's like, if I'm getting a cut up baby doll in my freezer, I'm going to start looking around a little bit harder.
Well, another thing, too, I mean, I think this is, just the way the story had to be told, but Dexter kind of, in season 1, I think it does actually show some personal growth, because in season 1, when they find the body parts and stuff, he is entranced by it. I mean, obviously, okay, so there's that hidden trauma that he eventually has to grapple with. But I'm like, we never see that kind of weird fascination with this stuff ever again.
Nope.
he's kind of like, sometimes he's almost like, there's times, the one guy when he's on the boat and he's like, I gotta get out of here, let's go, hurry up and die, like it's like almost business-like.
Yeah, definitely.
He doesn't, it's weird. I mean, it's, I guess that's part of the story is, this ice truck killer Brian is awakening something in him that he doesn't know was there, Yeah. I think another big difference, we'll get to Harry's role in all of this, but I think another big difference is their treatment of their victims. I mean, Brian is indifferent at best to his victims.
Yeah.
And it's a thing like when people will talk about, when you read things about serial killers, not just serial killers, but like it's narcissists and stuff in general, they don't understand other people as human beings. They're just things there to play with or serve their purpose.
Yep.
And you definitely get that vibe from Brian. Like, these are not people. These are just pieces of meat at best.
Yep.
And even Deb, who he has some animosity towards, it's not even like he really, you don't get like he really hates her. He's just like, you're just a thing in my way.
Yeah.
And I do like that one scene when near the end, like I think it's the last episode or second to last episode, when he's got her in their childhood home and he's got her blindfolded. He's just kind of kicking her around and stuff, like just kind of pushing her, taunting her. Mm-hmm. And you really see it there that he's just like, he just doesn't give.
Yeah, but he played that. He loved her really well.
Oh, he did. Yes.
I mean, he played that part well. He did a great job in his character, but there was just so many things that, like, I don't know, like the way he taunted Dexter with the Barbie. Not to mention, like, he was taking pictures of Dexter's childhood and posing his bodies the same way. Mm-hmm. The beach one, for instance, that was like...
Well, he got those pictures from Dexter.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's even another thing. Like, he's in my house. He's taking my pictures. Yeah. Like, hello, Dexter, wake up.
Well, but I think by that point, Dexter, didn't know it was his brother, but he knew what this guy was doing.
Yeah. But, I think the way he posed his victims was pretty amazing. He was spot on with some of those pictures matching those crime scenes.
But that just goes back to the point. It was like they're not people to him. They're just, this is a prop in this picture that I'm composing.
Yeah. I have to say I love the nail thing. I even do that sometimes.
Nail thing.
Every nail is colored differently. That's what actually, like, popped some ideas off for... I don't know if it was Deb or Dexter that saw the hand. Oh, it was was it Masuka instead?
Well, Masuka, no, Angel noted it. Angel noticed it on a prostitute.
Yes, Angel noticed it.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of came full circle and found out she actually knew Brian.
Yeah.
Sexually.
Professionally, yes.
Yeah, professionally.
But we see, but contrast that to Dexter.
Yeah.
Who we see, like I said, there are times where he seems like he's all business.
Yes.
This is, again, we can go back and talk about the unreliable narrator and kind of inconsistent characterization or whatever. But sometimes he's like, it's all business. I just got to, like, I'm supposed to kill somebody this month and time's almost up.
Yeah.
But most of the time, to the extent that we see him interact with his victims before he kills them, and especially in that very first episode, he kills that guy that was killing the little boys. And we've seen it plenty of times since then, but like it's right there in the front. He is actively disgusted with these people.
Yes.
And you can tell, like, he thinks of them as people.
Yeah.
But he thinks of them as, he's made a moral judgment about them. This is not just, and I guess this will go back to Harry when we talk about Harry, but this is not... That's why I say Dexter's so complicated, because it's not just like, I have the need to kill people. My father taught me how to kill people in such a way that nobody would miss them,
Yeah.
But it's not, even by the very first episode of the very first season, we see that it's more than that. He doesn't like these people. He is angry with them. We will see it again in Resurrection.
Yeah.
Where he's actively disgusted.
Yeah.
But that speaks to, I think, a big difference between him and Brian. And Harry talks about what got into them in that shipping container. I'm like, whatever was in Brian was already there. Something got into Dexter maybe, but he's not broken to that level that Brian is.
I don't think he was very broken. I think little things could have been stopped before they started to bring him out of that world, but it wasn't stopped.
Right. I mean, you know what? Let's go ahead and talk about that, the whole parental aspect.
I have a strong opinion about it.
Yeah. I mean, so Brian is basically a traumatized child he's like the Trinity Killer in this way. He's a traumatized child. He's constantly recreating his trauma.
Yes.
And we can understand that because of the ties to his mother and the clarity of his memories. But this, of course, Harry himself, he was like, there's something wrong with this kid. Like,
Harry knew it before.
Harry knew. And we even knew in the original series that Harry would say about, like, there was something different about him.
Yeah.
But Dexter, but we never get the sense, and we have not yet in any of these different series, we've never gotten a clear picture that anybody was... Brian didn't need encouragement in that direction, and to the contrary, he was given counseling.
Yes.
To deal with that, to make those urges go away.
Yes.
And I'll contrast that with Dexter,
who's
doing classic serial killer stuff as a child, killing dogs and things like that. But why did he kill that one? Do we see this in the very first episode, I think, where he talks about this dog, his father found all these bones.
He killed the dog because it kept barking and his mom was sick and he wanted the dog to stop so she could get some sleep.
And yeah, he had killed other dogs, but he still had a reason for killing,
Yes. And it's always for females.
Yes.
Always.
Yes, he's always, that is a good point. He's always protecting the women in his life.
Yep.
Because he could not protect his mother.
Yeah, because he protects Deb, he protects Rita, he protected Lila a little bit.
Yeah. Until he found,
Yeah, I think the only female that he interacts with that he doesn't show any kind of a protection for until right before her death is Records Lady.
Oh, Camilla. Yeah.
Camilla, because he gets mad at her that one time.
Well, he gets mad at Dokes for threatening her.
Yes, but he gets mad because Camilla wouldn't tell him anything about the shipping container and stuff, and he found it on his own.
Yeah.
But
but she was trying to protect it.
Yeah, it's always the females that he goes for protecting.
Right.
Like, so.
Right. I mean, it was, he failed Laura, but he's trying to protect Doris. He's trying to protect all these other women.
Yep.
So he gets the code. So Harry sees him doing these typical serial killer things. He gives him this code, and Dexter clings to the code.
Yeah.
That's his guy. Like, that's his therapy or whatever. But it reigns in something. It reigns in something else. We don't know what he would have been without the code. If Harry just left him alone, I think we see Jeremy Downs. This kid, Jeremy Downs. He probably would have ended up like a Jeremy Downs.
Yeah.
Because I think there is, there's something there that Brian does not have. There's some spark of something in him that Brian doesn't have. Yeah. But I can definitely see he would have ended up getting caught. He would have killed himself in jail. I mean, you could definitely see that.
Yeah.
But then you got to imagine, well, okay, that's if just Harry hadn't done anything. Well, what if Harry had actually... We're going to pretend that this weird retcon we got in season 8 that didn't make any sense, the show has decided to ignore it. So we're going to kind of ignore it for now.
Okay.
Because it was never clear enough to make any sense of it. But for the most part, like, Harry didn't, even if we assume that whatever happened in season 8 actually really happened, whatever help, Harry didn't try to get him any meaningful help.
No.
Now, we already know... We know from Original Sin that if even getting Brian help didn't matter.
Yeah.
But we don't know that about Dexter.
We do not. Because I think if he had had some help from the start, those urges and those thoughts could have been rewired into different things, maybe.
Yeah.
who knows what else he could have done with his life. I mean, he could have still gone into blood splatter. I mean, that's a big thing for him. And I think it goes back to what he saw when his mom died. But I still think he could have probably done other things. I think those urges, I mean, I don't like saying it like this, but I think his urges could have been squashed and he could have used that energy towards other things for himself.
I mean, they could have gotten him on medication. They could have tried other types of therapy. There's a lot of stuff they could have done.
Yeah, they could have, but they didn't do anything.
I mean, yeah, I think there's people walking around. A lot of people walking around that are like psychopaths that do not kill people.
Yeah.
It's completely... I saw this... I can't remember the guy's name. I think he was a psychiatrist or a neurosurgeon or something. And they were doing these brain scans of psychopaths, right? And they got this one... They had this one brain scan, and they looked at it, and they were like, this is like the most severe case, one of the most severe cases I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And they were all anonymous, right? When they revealed who it was his brain scan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he was like, oh, okay. But then he started thinking about, like, when he was a child, people would say, like, there's nothing in his eyes. There's something really wrong with that kid, but he's fine. He's got like a wife and a family, no problems, like nothing. So,
but his brain was all wonky.
His brain's just like, he just doesn't, process things the way people like. They're not like that process them.
Yeah.
But you could see that happening with Dexter. If you didn't have somebody like, this is how you cut up a body, this is what you do, he probably would have been like, hey, I did this weird thing where I killed dogs when I was little.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we get into Harry. I think we'll get into Harry later, like when we talk about Original Sin, because that spends a lot of time with Harry.
Yes.
And it shows a lot more of Harry's role in all this, because what you get in the original Dexter is just what Dexter wants to believe about Harry.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's sad that even with Original Sin, we don't get all the answers to that.
Yeah.
It really is. And there's always been the question of, did Harry train Dexter? Or did Harry train Dexter or push him towards that any more than he was already going?
Right.
So, I mean, that's always been the question. I mean, I think...
Okay.
I feel like if maybe he had a little bit of help, it just would have went differently. I mean, I kind of always feel like Harry trained him to be a serial killer. And okay, you gave him the code and stuff, but how about saying, hey, maybe this isn't what you should do with your life, And I mean, it seemed like Harry was happy when he killed the nurse.
Yeah.
Or he was happy when certain people got away that should have been put behind bars, but there wasn't a good enough case. It seems like he was happy that Dexter did what he did with those people right up until he walked in on Dexter in the shed, cutting a body up.
Until he sees
and
what
then
it
was
looks like.
done.
Because now he is face to face. He has seen what it actually looks like.
Yeah.
This is what killing people with intention looks like.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I just kind of feel like Harry didn't give Dexter the chance at life that he should have.
Yes. Yeah. It's a great tragedy. It's almost like I'm my mind is failing me, but it's like a Greek level tragedy of this father bringing about the undoing of his entire family,
Yeah.
by his hubris. I mean, which is what it is. This is what it is.
I mean, because in the end, Deb gets it too.
Yeah. I mean, everybody gets it.
Yeah. I mean, they all get hurt by what's happening.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I feel. So I think we talk about like nature versus nurture. You have two brothers that both witness a terrible thing.
Yes.
Slight difference in age. One is left to his own devices. One is, trained by a cop to get away with things.
Yep.
But it's really like, can you imagine? Like, let's think about the world where Dexter was the one he gave up.
Yeah.
Dexter was the one that went back into foster care, and he kept Brian.
Yeah.
Like, let's imagine that world. Brian, okay, yeah.
Well, Brian would have been perfect for the
Brian would have been perfect for it. Dexter probably would have,
He probably would have been adopted by a sweet, nice couple, brought up all Catholic and loving,
Yeah, it's worth thinking about, Anyway, I guess, next week we'll talk about some of the other killers of season 1. I think there were some weird ones here. But there's my favorites. One of my favorites of all time, which is of course Emmett Meridian, the psychiatrist, which we were talking about. But there's other ones too. So there's, he killed about 8 or 10 people in this season. That besides Brian.
Yeah, he worked all season to get to Brian.
Yeah, that was a lot of work.
That was the best part, is that he worked so long to get to him.
Yeah. So we'll talk about them. Like I said, I think really this show, so really season 1, the point of season 1, I always felt like, so the point of season 1, I mentioned it before, is feels like Dexter has basically spent his whole life in a dream. And then Brian comes along and is like, wake up.
Yep.
You are not going to be allowed to have these delusions anymore.
Yeah.
You're going to have to face the reality of who you are.
Yep.
And when he does that, once Dexter is confronted with this reality of this thing, this terrible tragedy at the core of his being, once he's confronted with that wakes him up, and then that's when he starts to grow as a person.
Yeah.
So this is the season 1's like a birth pain,
Yeah, it is.
And part of that is when he kills Brian. This is like cutting the tie. This is cutting the tie from, it feels to me like this is his decision to kill Brian is severing the tie between what he perceives as this is my fate, or this is this is a thing that has been predetermined.
Yes.
About how my life is supposed to go.
Yes.
But I am taking this other thing, as questionable as Harry is with his treatment, this thing that resembles, at least to some extent, a certain type of morality that normal people would recognize as morality.
Yes.
I'm going to use that is going to be the thing that holds me together, and that's going to be the thing that is going to separate me from this kind of befouled bloodline that I came from,
Yeah.
This kind of doomed bloodline.
Yeah.
Whether or not he ultimately escapes it, but because, ultimately does he escape it? Because it's not really about the bloodline in traditional sense. It's about the bloodline of the man that kind of started all of the problems.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, so that's what season 1 is to me. That's what the Ice Truck Killer is to me. Is let's break this down into the nature versus nurture. Let's break this down into, what you're doomed to do and what you choose to do.
Yes.
And how other people influence you. But there are other, like I said, we have a few other killers this season, and I think we'll talk about those next week, because I think those also play into the aspects of Dexter that they're trying to develop in the season. So
yes,
we will talk about those for sure. And then after that, we'll move on to goddamn Lila. But anyway, next week,
season 2, the Bay Harbor Butcher.
Anyway, so next week we're going to move on to that. Next week we're going to move on to the other killers in season 1. In the meantime, we are taking we are also talking about season 3 of the show Evil in our other podcast, The Final Assessment. We're closing up nearing the end of season 3, and then we'll be starting season 4 shortly after that. We are also join us for August is Diaz for Doll Creepy Dolls Month. We're going to be kicking that off with Magic.
Whoop, whoop. Great movie.
Classic. Anthony Hopkins, Burgess Meredith, and Margaret. Great movie. To join us talking about that on Outside Food and Drink, which is our movie podcast. And then, of course, once we're going to spend August and September talking about the previous killers in the Dexter universe before we start in on Resurrection season 2 as it is released.
Yes, they are in production, and
They should be in post-production. Yeah.
they are. They're talking about how great it would be if they released it on the 20th anniversary, which is October 1st, I believe.
Probably. I'd have to look.
Something right around there. Be their 20th anniversary, and they're talking about. I can actually look now. They're talking about that's a great release. Everybody thinks that would be a great release date, and it's a Thursday though. But we don't really know when Paramount Plus is going to put it out anyway. We figure Showtime will keep it on a Sunday, but Paramount Plus always puts it out early.
I think like what they've been doing is like Friday is the original. The drop, and then they just rebroadcast or whatever on Sundays or something.
Yeah,
and then then it's then it's just watchable.
Yeah, so it might be Thursday before they might do it on Thursdays now instead.
Yeah.
But it would be cool because it'd be on the 20th anniversary.
That would be cool. Yeah.
So.
Well, we're looking forward to that.
We
sure are. Good to see Uma's going to be back.
Yeah, there's some great names coming, and we're going to see some more Batista.
Or we're going to see Batista's ghost.
Yeah. But he's back, and he did get, he was nominated for an award this year.
About time.
It is about time. I think the show and all was nominated for 3 different things.
Yeah, it was.
But it was good to see that he got a nod because he was great this season.
He was outstanding this season.
Yes, he was. So, but there's a lot of great names coming and a lot of great things, and Dexter Daily always tells you what's going on.
Yep, we're looking forward to that. And until then, join us on a Wednesday for our discussion, our continued discussion of evil, and join us on Friday for some creepy ass dolls with magic. And until then,
Later.